Imagine facing every challenge, every setback, with unshakable calm and unwavering strength. What if you could transform stress into serenity and anxiety into action? Welcome to the world of Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that's not just for philosophers, but for anyone seeking inner peace and resilience in today's chaotic world. Over the next few minutes, we're going to explore 25 Stoic principles that can revolutionize the way you navigate life, turning everyday struggles into opportunities for growth and profound personal transformation. We'll start with learning to focus on what you can control, then move on to the power of accepting what you can't. You'll discover how practicing negative visualization can strangely increase your gratitude, and how remembering that everything is impermanent can free you from attachment. From living in accordance with nature to understanding that virtue is the only true good, we'll delve into strategies for controlling your emotions, choosing reason over impulse, and finding joy in simplicity. We'll also cover essential practices such as owning your actions, forgiving others, seeking wisdom, and being just and fair in all your dealings. Finally, we'll explore how to cultivate courage, practice temperance, be present, and continuously improve yourself by learning from mistakes. By the end of this video, you'll have a toolkit of Stoic strategies to build emotional balance, mental fortitude, and become the master of your own inner world. Let's dive in and unlock the timeless wisdom of Stoicism together. This journey begins with understanding where to direct your focus, which leads us to our first principle. The first principle involves mastering the art of distinguishing what lies within our control from what does not, a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. What we control includes our thoughts, actions, and reactions, while external events and the behavior of others fall outside this sphere. This distinction isn't merely an intellectual exercise. It's a practical tool for navigating life's complexities with greater ease and resilience. Consider this: you cannot control the weather, the economy, or other people's opinions, but you can control how you react to these elements. Instead of fretting over uncontrollable external factors, the Stoics advocate focusing on personal responses and internal states. For example, if a project at work faces unexpected delays, instead of becoming consumed by frustration, direct your energy toward problem solving and adapting your strategies. This redirection of focus not only enhances productivity but also cultivates a sense of empowerment and calm. Understanding and applying this principle in daily life brings a profound sense of mental freedom. When you accept the reality that many aspects of life are beyond your influence, you free yourself from unnecessary stress and anxiety. This acceptance isn't about resignation, but rather about a clear-eyed acknowledgement of reality, which allows you to conserve mental energy for areas where you can make a difference. By consciously directing your energy towards your choices and responses, you reclaim your power and foster a mindset of proactive resilience, prepared to handle whatever comes your way. As we shift our focus from external chaos to internal control, we naturally move towards accepting the inevitable, which will be our next Stoic principle. The second principle involves accepting what we cannot change, a critical pivot from understanding control to embracing reality. This Stoic tenet teaches us that acknowledging the boundaries of our influence is not a passive surrender, but an active step towards inner peace and effective action. Acceptance in this context signifies a clear-eyed understanding of the world as it is, not as we wish it to be. It's about recognizing the futility of battling against inevitable forces and instead channeling our energy towards navigating them with wisdom and resilience. To cultivate acceptance, the Stoics offer several potent practices. One such practice is negative visualization, where you intentionally contemplate potential adversities, losses, and setbacks. This might sound pessimistic, but it serves to diminish the emotional impact of these events should they occur. By imagining the loss of possessions, the failure of projects, or even the decline of health, you prepare yourself mentally and emotionally, reducing fear and increasing gratitude for your current state. Another powerful tool is cognitive reframing, which involves altering the way you think about stressful situations. For instance, if you face criticism at work, instead of viewing it as a personal attack, reframe it as an opportunity for growth and learning. By changing your perspective, you transform a negative experience into a constructive one. Embracing acceptance leads to a life of reduced stress and heightened resilience. When you stop fighting against the uncontrollable, you free yourself to focus on what truly matters: your actions, your character, and your response to the world. This shift in focus empowers you to live more authentically and effectively, prepared to face whatever challenges arise with equanimity and strength. As we arm ourselves with acceptance, it's also wise to visualize what could happen so we are prepared. The third practice involves negative visualization, a Stoic technique also called premeditatio malorum, which translates to premeditation of evils. This isn't about dwelling on negativity, but rather strategically contemplating potential losses, setbacks, and hardships. It might seem counterintuitive, but this practice paradoxically reduces anxiety and increases gratitude. By regularly considering the impermanence of things and the possibility of adversity, we temper our emotional responses and cultivate a more resilient mindset. So how do we weave this into our daily lives? Begin by setting aside quiet moments to reflect on the fragility of health or the impermanence of possessions. Consider the possibility of losing something you cherish, not to induce fear, but to appreciate its presence in your life. Visualize your reaction to such a loss, planning how you would cope and maintain your composure. This mental preparation diminishes the shock and anxiety should the event actually occur. Another practical application involves reflecting on potential setbacks in your goals. Before embarking on a new project, consider the obstacles you might face and how you would handle them. By anticipating these challenges, you're less likely to be derailed by them and more likely to develop proactive strategies for overcoming them. Negative visualization also extends to social interactions. Reflect on the possibility of encountering difficult people or experiencing conflicts. Plan how you would respond with patience, understanding, and without compromising your values. This mental rehearsal strengthens your ability to navigate challenging relationships with grace and equanimity. Incorporating negative visualization into your routine doesn't require extensive time. Even a few minutes of thoughtful contemplation each day can yield significant benefits. It's about developing a realistic perspective, cultivating resilience, and appreciating the good in your life while acknowledging its impermanence. By facing potential adversities in our minds, we reduce their power over our emotions and enhance our ability to navigate life's inevitable challenges with wisdom and strength. Next, we will explore how acknowledging the always changing nature of everything helps us appreciate what we have. The fourth principle involves remembering impermanence. One of Stoicism's bedrock teachings is the concept of impermanence, the profound understanding that everything is incessantly changing. Recognizing this fundamental truth has the power to diminish our attachment to material possessions, the sway of relationships, and even our fear of life's end. This isn't a morbid focus, but a liberating acknowledgement that allows us to truly appreciate the present moment. So, how can we actively embrace and internalize this principle? One powerful method is observing the natural cycles of growth and decay that surround us. Take time to witness the life cycle of a plant, from the sprouting of a seed to the withering of its leaves. Note how seasons transition, bringing forth new life and gently taking away the old. By meditating on these cycles, we attune ourselves to the transient nature of existence, cultivating a sense of acceptance and detachment. Another practical exercise involves reflecting on personal experiences of change and loss. Consider moments in your own life when things shifted, relationships evolved, or chapters closed. Acknowledge the emotions that arose during those times and recognize how you adapted and continued to grow. These reflections serve as potent reminders of your resilience and the ever-flowing river of life. To further integrate this principle, create mental reminders of impermanence in your daily environment. This may involve intentionally observing signs of change, such as the weathering of buildings, the shifting patterns of clouds, or the subtle signs of aging in yourself and others. These observations act as gentle nudges, bringing the concept of impermanence into conscious awareness. Additionally, practice gratitude for the present moment, acknowledging that it will inevitably pass. Savor the joy of experiences, the warmth of relationships, and the beauty of the world around you, holding them lightly without clinging. By fully embracing the present, we extract maximum value from each encounter, appreciating its transient nature. By accepting that everything is subject to change, we can release our grip on the illusion of permanence, allowing us to navigate life's inevitable ups and downs with greater poise and equanimity. As we come to terms with the ephemeral nature of all things, we open ourselves to a deeper sense of peace, contentment, and gratitude. Next, we'll explore the Stoic concept of living in accordance with nature and consider how it applies to modern life. The fifth principle involves living in accordance with nature. Delving into this concept, we find that Stoicism emphasizes the importance of aligning our lives with the principles that govern both human nature and the broader natural world. This alignment isn't a passive acceptance, but an active engagement with reason, virtue, and the common good. Living in accordance with nature, in essence, means understanding our place within the universe and acting in ways that are harmonious with its order. For Stoics, this requires a deep understanding of human nature, recognizing our capacity for reason and our inherent social nature. It involves making decisions that are not only rational but also contribute to the well-being of those around us. This could mean acting with integrity in our professional lives, making ethical choices in our personal relationships, and contributing to the betterment of our communities. In modern life, applying this principle may involve making conscious choices to reduce our environmental impact, supporting sustainable practices, and advocating for policies that protect the natural world. It may also involve cultivating inner virtues such as honesty, kindness, and compassion, allowing these qualities to guide our interactions with others. Furthermore, living in accordance with nature requires a certain level of self-awareness. It means understanding our own strengths and weaknesses, recognizing our biases, and striving to overcome them. It means being honest with ourselves about our motivations and intentions, ensuring that our actions are aligned with our values. By living in accordance with nature, we not only improve our own lives, but also contribute to the well-being of society as a whole. We become more responsible citizens, more ethical leaders, and more compassionate human beings. Living in harmony with the world around us enhances our sense of purpose, instills a sense of fulfillment, and fosters a deeper connection with all living things. As we embrace this principle, we unlock a profound source of inner strength and resilience. Next, we'll consider how virtue stands as the only true good in Stoic philosophy. Principle 6 involves recognizing that virtue is the only true good. Unpacking this cornerstone of Stoic philosophy reveals that wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance are the ultimate aims, while external factors such as wealth, health, and reputation hold indifferent value. Stoics believe that the pursuit and cultivation of virtue provide an unshakable foundation for genuine happiness and fulfillment, irrespective of life's inevitable ups and downs. Focusing on virtue shifts our attention from the fleeting and uncontrollable nature of externals to the steadfast and influenceable realm of our character. This realignment allows us to weather storms with equanimity, knowing that our worth isn't tied to material success or public opinion, but to the integrity of our actions. Practical tips for developing each of the 4 cardinal virtues can be seamlessly integrated into daily life. To cultivate wisdom, seek knowledge, question assumptions, and engage in continuous learning, understanding that true wisdom lies in recognizing the limits of our understanding. Justice can be fostered by treating all individuals with fairness, respect, and empathy, advocating for those who are marginalized, and upholding ethical principles in every interaction. Courage isn't merely the absence of fear, but the willingness to act virtuously despite it. It can be developed by confronting challenges head-on, setting meaningful goals, and standing up for one's beliefs even in the face of adversity. Temperance, or moderation, involves practicing self-control and balance in all aspects of life, avoiding excess and cultivating a sense of inner harmony, which can be achieved through mindfulness, healthy habits, and a deep appreciation for simplicity. By prioritizing virtue, we build an inner citadel that cannot be shaken by external forces, ensuring a life of purpose, resilience, and genuine fulfillment, regardless of circumstance. This foundation prepares us for the emotional regulation practices we'll explore next. The seventh principle emphasizes controlling your emotions. Shifting from the focus on virtue, we now turn to practical strategies for navigating the internal landscape of our emotions, a cornerstone of Stoic practice. Rather than advocating for emotional suppression, Stoicism encourages a deep understanding and skillful regulation of emotional responses. This approach recognizes that emotions are a natural part of the human experience, but our reactions to them can either enhance or detract from our well-being and inner peace. A pivotal aspect of this principle involves identifying and challenging irrational beliefs and cognitive distortions that often fuel negative emotions, such as anger, fear, and anxiety. Cognitive distortions are thought patterns that skew our perception of reality, leading to exaggerated or unfounded emotional reactions. For example, catastrophizing involves blowing situations out of proportion, imagining worst-case scenarios, while overgeneralization entails drawing broad conclusions from a single event. Recognizing these patterns is the first step toward regaining emotional control. Practical techniques for emotional regulation, rooted in Stoic wisdom, include cognitive restructuring and mindfulness meditation. Cognitive restructuring involves actively challenging and reframing negative thoughts. When faced with a stressful situation, take a step back and examine the underlying thoughts driving your emotional response. Ask yourself whether these thoughts are based on facts or assumptions, and whether there are alternative, more balanced perspectives. By consciously reframing negative thoughts, you can reduce their emotional impact and cultivate a more rational outlook. Mindfulness meditation offers another powerful tool for emotional regulation. Through regular practice, we can learn to observe our emotions without judgment, creating a space between our thoughts and reactions. This allows us to respond to emotions with greater awareness and intention, rather than being swept away by them. Start by finding a quiet space, focusing on your breath, and gently noting any emotions that arise without getting carried away by them. With practice, you can develop the ability to observe your emotions with detachment, recognizing them as transient experiences rather than fixed realities. Mastering emotional control enhances our resilience and strengthens our ability to navigate life's challenges with equanimity and wisdom. As we learn to choose reason over emotion, we'll delve into another critical aspect of Stoic practice. The eighth principle expands on the Stoic emphasis on reason as a guide to action. Stoicism elevates reason to a place of paramount importance, advocating for its use as the primary tool for navigating life's complexities. Emotions, while natural, can often cloud judgment, leading to impulsive and irrational behavior. Think of times when anger has led to regrettable words or fear has prevented you from pursuing a valuable opportunity. These instances highlight the need for a more reasoned approach. Practical strategies for cultivating rationality begin with the simple act of pausing before reacting. When confronted with a challenging situation, resist the urge to immediately respond. Instead, take a moment to breathe, step back, and observe your emotions without getting carried away by them. This pause creates space for reason to assert itself. Seeking objective information is another crucial step. Emotions often thrive on incomplete or biased information. Make an effort to gather all the facts, consult reliable sources, and consider different perspectives before forming an opinion or making a decision. For instance, before reacting to a piece of gossip, verify its accuracy and consider the source's motives. Considering alternative perspectives also plays a vital role. Our emotions often trap us in narrow viewpoints, blinding us to other possibilities. Actively seek out different perspectives by engaging in conversations with people who hold opposing views, reading diverse sources of information, and challenging your own assumptions. This practice broadens your understanding and allows you to make more informed decisions. Developing emotional intelligence and self-awareness is also very important. Emotional intelligence is the ability to understand and manage your own emotions, as well as recognize and respond to the emotions of others. Self-awareness is the foundation of emotional intelligence, involving a deep understanding of your own values, beliefs, and emotional triggers. By cultivating these qualities, you can become more attuned to your emotional responses and better equipped to regulate them. Embracing reason as a guiding force empowers us to navigate life's challenges with greater clarity, wisdom, and resilience. As we become more mindful of our actions, we will have to think about the importance of self-denial in Stoicism. The 9th principle explores the Stoic practice of self-denial, a concept that might initially seem counterintuitive in our pleasure-seeking society, but it is an essential tool for cultivating inner strength. Self-denial in the Stoic context isn't about punishing yourself or living a life of misery. Instead, it's about intentionally abstaining from comforts and pleasures to strengthen your self-discipline and resilience. It's about proving to yourself that you are in control of your desires rather than being controlled by them. Think of it as a form of mental weightlifting. The more you practice resisting small temptations, the stronger your ability to resist larger ones becomes. This isn't about deprivation for its own sake, but rather about strengthening your ability to withstand hardship and to truly appreciate the simple things in life. By voluntarily giving up certain pleasures, you develop a deeper sense of gratitude for what you have and a greater capacity to cope with adversity when it inevitably arises. A practical example of self-denial is fasting. Intentionally abstaining from food for a set period can be a powerful exercise in self-control. It teaches you to manage your cravings and to recognize the difference between genuine hunger and mere desire. Another example is taking cold showers. Stepping under a stream of cold water requires mental fortitude and a willingness to embrace discomfort. Over time, it builds resilience and teaches you to overcome your initial aversion to unpleasant experiences. Decluttering your physical space can also be a form of self-denial. Letting go of possessions that you no longer need or use forces you to confront your attachment to material things. It helps you to cultivate a minimalist mindset and to focus on what truly matters in life. Incorporating these practices into daily life doesn't require drastic changes. Start small, choose one area where you feel you could benefit from greater self-control, and gradually increase the challenge as you grow stronger. Remember, the goal is not to suffer, but to develop the mental and emotional strength needed to navigate life's inevitable difficulties with grace and resilience. As you embrace the power of self-denial, you may start to realize the power of indifference. The 10th principle concerns being indifferent to indifferent things, a concept central to Stoic philosophy. Indifference in this context are external factors that are neither inherently good nor inherently bad. Things like wealth, health, status, and reputation fall into this category. Their value is determined by how we use them and how they affect our virtue. Exploring this concept, we find that Stoics recognize that while these external factors can be useful or beneficial, they are not essential for happiness or a virtuous life. True happiness comes from within, from living in accordance with virtue, and from focusing on what we can control: our thoughts, actions, and intentions. To put it simply, focusing on what is truly important, virtue, requires detaching from excessive concern about indifferent things. This doesn't mean we should actively reject or avoid these things, but rather that we should not allow them to dictate our emotional state or define our sense of worth. A wealthy person can act virtuously or unvirtuously with their wealth, which makes the way they use it far more important than the wealth itself. There are practical ways to cultivate indifference to indifferent things in our daily lives. Practicing gratitude for what one has is essential. Taking time to appreciate the present moment and the simple things in life helps shift the focus from what we lack to what we already possess. This reduces the tendency to crave external validation or material possessions. Avoiding comparisons with others goes hand in hand with practicing gratitude. Comparing ourselves to others often leads to feelings of envy, inadequacy, or pride, all of which are detrimental to inner peace. Instead, focus on your own journey, your own values, and your own progress towards virtue. Your life is your own and shouldn't be based on those of others. As you learn to detach from external validation and focus on your inner virtue, you realize how important it is to own your actions. Transitioning our focus inward, the 11th principle addresses the critical importance of owning your actions. In Stoicism, taking full responsibility for one's actions and choices is paramount. This principle emphasizes that we are the authors of our own lives, and we must acknowledge the impact of our decisions, both good and bad. It's about recognizing that while external circumstances may influence our actions, they do not dictate them. We always have a choice in how we respond. Blaming others or making excuses undermines personal growth and prevents learning from mistakes. When we attribute our failures to external factors, we avoid confronting our own shortcomings and miss opportunities for self-improvement. This behavior not only stagnates our personal development, but also damages our relationships and erodes our integrity. Accepting responsibility, on the other hand, empowers us to take control of our lives and shape our future. There is practical advice on how to cultivate personal accountability in our daily lives. Admitting errors is the first step. It requires humility to acknowledge when we have made a mistake, whether it's a small oversight or a significant blunder. Instead of trying to justify our actions or shift the blame, we should own up to our errors and take responsibility for the consequences. Apologizing sincerely is equally important. A heartfelt apology demonstrates empathy and remorse for the harm we have caused. It involves acknowledging the impact of our actions on others and expressing a genuine desire to make amends. A sincere apology can go a long way in repairing damaged relationships and restoring trust. Don't just apologize to do it, but mean it. Taking steps to correct any harm caused is the final piece of the puzzle. This involves actively working to rectify the situation and mitigate the negative consequences of our actions. It may require making restitution, offering assistance, or simply changing our behavior to prevent future harm. By taking concrete steps to repair the damage, we demonstrate our commitment to accountability and show genuine remorse for our actions. This emphasis on personal responsibility leads to the next point: how we can forgive those who wronged us. Principle 12, forgive others, shifting our gaze towards interpersonal harmony. We now explore the Stoic perspective on forgiveness, which emphasizes releasing anger and resentment towards those who have wronged us. In Stoicism, forgiveness is not about condoning harmful behavior or excusing the actions of others. Instead, it is about freeing oneself from the emotional burden of anger and resentment. The Stoics believed that holding onto grudges harms oneself more than it harms the offender. Anger and resentment are corrosive emotions that can poison our minds, cloud our judgment, and undermine our well-being. By forgiving others, we liberate ourselves from the grip of these negative emotions and create space for inner peace and emotional healing. Holding on to grudges harms oneself more than the offender, as the offender may not even know or care about the anger being directed towards them. The person holding the grudge continues to relive the hurt. There are practical techniques for cultivating forgiveness. Empathizing with the other person's perspective involves trying to understand their motives, circumstances, and state of mind. It requires stepping into their shoes and seeing the situation from their point of view. This does not mean justifying their actions, but rather gaining insight into the factors that may have contributed to their behavior. By understanding the other person's perspective, we can begin to develop compassion and empathy, which are essential for forgiveness. Recognizing their humanity is another important step. The Stoics believed that everyone is capable of making mistakes and that no one is perfect. By recognizing the inherent flaws and imperfections of others, we can become more tolerant and forgiving. It involves acknowledging that the person who wronged us is also a human being with their own struggles, challenges, and limitations. This recognition can help us to let go of our anger and resentment and see them as fellow human beings worthy of compassion. Letting go of the desire for revenge is crucial for forgiveness. The Stoics believed that seeking revenge only perpetuates the cycle of violence and harm. It keeps us trapped in a state of anger and resentment and prevents us from moving forward. By letting go of the desire for revenge, we break free from this cycle and choose to focus on healing and reconciliation. This does not mean condoning the harm that was done to us, but rather refusing to let it define our lives or control our emotions. With a path towards forgiveness laid before us, we will now seek wisdom, furthering our journey towards understanding and enlightenment. Principle 13. Seek wisdom, turning our attention to the pursuit of knowledge. We now delve into the Stoic pursuit of wisdom as a lifelong endeavor. Wisdom, in the Stoic view, is not simply the accumulation of facts or information. It is a profound understanding of the nature of reality, the principles of virtue, and the path to happiness. It involves developing a clear and rational perspective on the world, recognizing the difference between what we can control and what we cannot, and aligning our actions with reason and virtue. The Stoics believed that wisdom is essential for living a fulfilling and meaningful life, as it provides us with the guidance and insight needed to navigate the challenges and uncertainties of existence. Reading philosophy is a practical way to cultivate wisdom. Immersing oneself in the works of Stoic philosophers like Epictetus, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius can provide valuable insights into their teachings and principles. Additionally, engaging with philosophical texts from other traditions can broaden one's understanding of different perspectives on life and the pursuit of wisdom. Reading philosophy helps to stimulate critical thinking, challenge assumptions, and develop a deeper appreciation for the complexities of human existence. Engaging in thoughtful conversations is also a valuable practice. Discussing philosophical ideas and ethical dilemmas with others can help to refine one's understanding and gain new perspectives. Engaging in respectful and open-minded dialogue allows for the exchange of ideas, the exploration of different viewpoints, and the clarification of one's own beliefs and values. Thoughtful conversations can be a powerful tool for intellectual growth and the cultivation of wisdom. Reflecting on personal experiences offers a different avenue. Taking the time to contemplate one's own life experiences, both positive and negative, can provide valuable lessons and insights. Reflecting on past successes and failures, challenges and triumphs, can help one to identify patterns, recognize strengths and weaknesses, and develop a deeper understanding of oneself and the world. Personal reflection allows for the integration of knowledge and experience, leading to greater wisdom and self-awareness. As we consider ways to seek wisdom, we now shift our focus to the importance of being just and fair in all our dealings. Building upon our exploration of wisdom, the spotlight now turns to justice and fairness, cornerstones of Stoic ethics. The Stoic virtue of justice extends beyond simple legal compliance. It embodies treating all individuals with fairness, respect, and compassion, recognizing their inherent worth and dignity. Justice, in this context, is not merely about following rules, but about cultivating a genuine concern for the welfare of others and acting in accordance with moral principles. Upholding ethical principles is crucial to being just and fair. This means adhering to a consistent set of moral values such as honesty, integrity, and responsibility in all our interactions and decisions. It requires us to resist the temptation to compromise our principles for personal gain or convenience, and to act in accordance with what is right, even when it is difficult or unpopular. Upholding ethical principles also involves holding ourselves accountable for our actions and taking responsibility for any harm we may cause. Respecting the rights of others is another essential aspect of justice. This means recognizing that every individual has certain fundamental rights and freedoms that must be protected and upheld. It requires us to treat others with dignity and consideration, regardless of their background, beliefs, or circumstances. Respecting the rights of others also involves advocating for those who are marginalized or oppressed and working to create a more just and equitable society. Contributing to the common good is a further expression of Stoic justice. This means recognizing that we are all interconnected and that our actions have an impact on the wider community. It requires us to consider the well-being of others and to act in ways that promote the overall good of society. Contributing to the common good can take many forms, such as volunteering our time, donating to charitable causes, or advocating for policies that benefit all members of society. For practical examples of how to practice justice in daily life, consider advocating for the marginalized. This might involve speaking out against discrimination, supporting policies that address inequality, or simply being an ally to those who are facing injustice. Another example would be volunteering in one's community, where one can make a direct impact on the lives of others by providing assistance to those in need, supporting local organizations, or participating in community improvement projects. Finally, treating everyone with dignity means recognizing the inherent worth of every individual, regardless of their background or circumstances, by acting with kindness, empathy, and respect in all our interactions. Having considered the importance of justice and fairness, it is time to explore the Stoic virtue of courage, which enables us to act justly even in the face of adversity. Transitioning smoothly from justice to another vital virtue, we now turn our attention to courage, a quality highly esteemed in Stoic philosophy. Exploring the Stoic virtue of courage, which involves facing fear, adversity, and uncertainty with strength and resilience, reveals that courage is not about being fearless. Instead, it is the ability to confront difficult situations and emotions head-on, acting virtuously even when afraid. Stoics recognize that fear is a natural human emotion, but they believe that it should not control our actions or prevent us from doing what is right. Courage in the face of adversity allows us to maintain our integrity and uphold our values even when faced with opposition or hardship. It enables us to stand up for what we believe in, to defend the vulnerable, and to pursue justice regardless of the personal cost. Without courage, we will be easily swayed by fear, self-doubt, and the opinions of others, hindering our ability to live a virtuous and fulfilling life. To cultivate courage, consider setting challenging goals. By pushing ourselves beyond our comfort zones and taking on tasks that require courage, we can gradually build our confidence and resilience. Another great tip is to take calculated risks. This involves carefully assessing potential dangers and opportunities, and then making a conscious decision to act, even when there is a chance of failure. Calculated risks can help us overcome our fear of the unknown and develop our ability to adapt to changing circumstances. Furthermore, standing up for one's beliefs is an act of courage that reinforces our commitment to virtue and inspires others to do the same. This might involve speaking out against injustice, challenging authority, or simply expressing our opinions even when they are unpopular. By standing up for what we believe in, we demonstrate our courage and encourage others to find their own voice. Having explored how to cultivate courage, we now shift our focus to temperance, a virtue that promotes balance and moderation in all aspects of life. Transitioning from the strength found in courage, the next virtue on our path toward inner strength is temperance. Delving into the Stoic virtue of temperance, it becomes clear that it is about moderation, self-control, and balance in every aspect of life. This virtue is not just about restricting ourselves, but rather about finding harmony and avoiding excess that can lead to imbalance and dissatisfaction. Temperance is essential because it allows us to live a more deliberate and thoughtful life, one where we are not controlled by our impulses or desires. Avoiding excess is crucial for maintaining both physical and mental well-being. Whether it is overindulgence in food, drink, or entertainment, excess can lead to a variety of problems, including health issues, financial instability, and damaged relationships. By practicing temperance, we can cultivate a sense of self-control that helps us resist these temptations and make better choices. This self-control extends to managing our time, ensuring that we allocate sufficient hours for work, rest, and personal development. Cultivating a sense of inner harmony is another key aspect of temperance. This involves aligning our actions with our values and striving for balance in all areas of our lives. It means being mindful of our thoughts and emotions and taking steps to manage them effectively. Inner harmony allows us to experience greater peace and contentment, regardless of external circumstances. It also enhances our relationships with others, as we are better able to communicate and connect with them in a balanced and respectful manner. Practical examples of practicing temperance in daily life include making conscious choices about nutrition, ensuring we get adequate rest, and avoiding addictive behaviors. Eating healthy foods in moderation helps us maintain our physical health and mental clarity. Getting enough sleep is essential for our overall well-being, as it allows our bodies and minds to rest and recharge. Avoiding addictive behaviors such as excessive use of alcohol or social media helps us maintain control over our lives and prevent negative consequences. With an understanding of temperance and its importance in achieving inner harmony, the discussion progresses, next considering how being present in each moment can enhance our daily lives. The 17th principle emphasizes being present, highlighting the Stoic focus on living in the current moment, instead of dwelling on the past or fretting about the future. The present is the only time frame over which we exert any real influence. By fully engaging with the now, we diminish the power of regret and anxiety, both of which steal our peace and distract us from what truly matters. Living in the present allows us to appreciate the small joys and simple pleasures that often go unnoticed. It means being fully engaged in conversations, savoring each bite of a meal, and noticing the beauty of the natural world around us. When we are present, we are more attuned to our senses and emotions, which enhances our overall well-being and deepens our connection to life. There are several practical techniques for cultivating presence. Mindfulness meditation involves focusing on your breath, body sensations, or thoughts without judgment. This practice helps train the mind to stay grounded in the present moment, reducing the tendency to wander into the past or future. Savoring experiences means taking the time to fully appreciate pleasurable activities, such as listening to music, spending time with loved ones, or enjoying a cup of tea. By focusing on the sensations and emotions associated with these experiences, we can enhance our enjoyment and create lasting memories. Focusing on the task at hand involves giving your full attention to whatever you are doing, whether it is working on a project, exercising, or doing chores. This helps prevent distractions and increases efficiency while also making the activity more enjoyable. When we are fully present, we are more likely to find meaning and satisfaction in our daily lives. Finding joy in simplicity is closely tied to the principle of being present, influencing our approach to happiness and contentment, which will be discussed next. Exploring the Stoic appreciation for simplicity and contentment with what one has, the 18th principle suggests that true happiness does not hinge on external possessions or grand achievements, but instead blossoms from inner virtue and a grateful heart. This Stoic ideal invites us to reconsider our pursuit of happiness, often misdirected towards material gains and societal accolades, and instead to cultivate a deep sense of satisfaction with the simple, inherent aspects of life. The essence of this principle lies in recognizing that enduring joy is an inside job, rooted in our character and perspective, not in what we own or accomplish. Living by this principle requires a deliberate shift in focus, moving away from the endless chase for more and towards a profound appreciation for what already exists. It means finding contentment in the everyday, turning ordinary moments into opportunities for gratitude and joy. This does not advocate for a life of deprivation, but rather a life of intention, where we consciously choose to value experiences and relationships over possessions and status. The goal is to minimize dependence on external sources of happiness, which are by nature transient and unreliable, and to nurture an internal reservoir of joy that remains accessible regardless of external circumstances. There are several practical ways to integrate the joy of simplicity into daily life. Spending time in nature offers a powerful reminder of the beauty and abundance that surrounds us, often overlooked in our busy lives. Whether it's a walk in the park, a hike in the mountains, or simply sitting under a tree, nature provides a calming and grounding experience that fosters a sense of connection and gratitude. Appreciating simple pleasures like a good book, a warm cup of coffee, or a heartfelt conversation can also cultivate joy in simplicity. These small moments, often taken for granted, can become significant sources of happiness when approached with mindfulness and appreciation. Practicing gratitude involves actively acknowledging and appreciating the positive aspects of our lives. This can be done through journaling, meditation, or simply taking a few moments each day to reflect on what we are thankful for. By regularly focusing on the good, we retrain our minds to notice and appreciate the abundance that already exists, fostering a sense of contentment and joy. Adopting this principle not only enriches personal well-being but also simplifies life, reducing the stress and anxiety that often accompany the pursuit of material wealth and social status. As we embrace simplicity and find joy in the present, our journey now takes us to the profound importance of authenticity in our interactions and self-expression. The 19th principle, to be authentic, calls us to align our lives with our true values and beliefs, a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. Authenticity is more than just being genuine. It is about living with integrity, where our actions mirror our innermost convictions. This involves a deep commitment to self-awareness, which allows us to understand our principles and motivations, guiding us to make choices that reflect our true selves. The importance of this principle lies in its capacity to foster a sense of inner peace and fulfillment, as we reduce the dissonance between who we are and how we live. Authenticity shields us from the corrosive effects of pretense and societal pressures, allowing us to navigate life with a clear sense of purpose. Living authentically requires a continuous process of self-discovery and moral courage. This involves regularly examining our values to ensure they genuinely represent our beliefs. Self-awareness is essential to ensure that we are always living true to ourselves. It also requires the ability to make morally sound decisions, which can be the most challenging part of it all. Being honest with oneself about our strengths, weaknesses, and motivations is a vital step towards authenticity. It also creates a foundation for honest interactions with others. Embracing this honesty fosters genuine relationships built on trust and mutual respect. Practical tips for cultivating authenticity include identifying one's core values through introspection and reflection. Setting boundaries is also crucial, as it protects our time, energy, and emotional well-being, ensuring that we remain true to our needs and values. Expressing oneself honestly also involves communicating our thoughts and feelings clearly and respectfully, even when it's difficult. By integrating these practices, we can cultivate a life that is both meaningful and fulfilling. As we embrace our true selves and live authentically, our journey evolves towards recognizing the profound impact of our thoughts on our well-being. As we continue our exploration of inner strength, the 20th principle centers on being mindful of your thoughts, a practice that is foundational in Stoicism. Monitoring your thoughts involves observing them without judgment. The idea is to create a space between your thoughts and your reactions, allowing you to choose how to respond rather than reacting impulsively. Stoics believe that our thoughts significantly shape our emotions and behaviors. Therefore, by controlling our thoughts, we gain greater control over our emotional responses and actions. Negative or irrational thoughts can lead to unnecessary suffering, while rational and virtuous thoughts can lead to a more fulfilling and balanced life. Several practical techniques can assist in cultivating mindfulness of thoughts. Cognitive restructuring involves identifying and challenging negative or distorted thought patterns, replacing them with more rational and positive ones. For example, if you find yourself thinking, "I always fail," you can challenge this thought by recalling past successes and reframing it to, "I have faced failures, but I have also achieved successes and I can learn from my mistakes." Thought journaling is another effective method where you regularly write down your thoughts and feelings, analyzing them to identify recurring patterns and triggers. This practice enhances self-awareness and provides insights into the origins of your emotional reactions. Mindfulness meditation is also beneficial, encouraging you to focus on the present moment and observe your thoughts as they arise without getting carried away by them. This practice strengthens your ability to detach from negative thought patterns and cultivate a sense of inner peace. By becoming more aware of our thoughts and challenging those that are negative or irrational, we can significantly improve our emotional well-being and develop a more stoic approach to life. Equipped to manage our thoughts, the journey ahead leads us to the importance of learning from our mistakes, the next significant step in our Stoic journey. The 21st principle highlights the Stoic emphasis on learning from your mistakes, positioning them as pivotal opportunities for growth. Failure, according to Stoicism, is not an end but an inevitable part of life's journey. What distinguishes a Stoic is not the absence of mistakes, but the approach taken when they occur, embracing humility and a willingness to extract valuable lessons. Analyzing what went wrong is a critical step. This involves a detailed review of the circumstances surrounding the mistake, identifying the specific actions or decisions that led to the undesirable outcome. Objectivity is key. Avoid defensiveness and honestly assess your role in the situation. Identifying areas for improvement logically follows this analysis. Ask yourself, what could I have done differently? What skills or knowledge do I need to develop to prevent similar mistakes in the future? This may involve seeking feedback from others, engaging in further education, or simply practicing a skill more diligently. Developing a plan for future success integrates these insights into actionable steps. This is not merely about setting goals, but about creating a structured approach to personal development based on past experiences. For example, if a mistake stemmed from poor time management, the plan might include implementing time-blocking techniques and regularly reviewing your schedule. By learning from our mistakes, we transform potential setbacks into stepping stones toward wisdom and resilience. With strategies to learn from our errors now in hand, let's prepare for the adversities that life inevitably presents, the topic of our next exploration. The 22nd principle, to seek continuous improvement, captures the essence of Stoicism as a journey of lifelong self-betterment, both morally and intellectually. It's about recognizing that personal growth isn't a destination but an ongoing process of refining one's character and expanding one's understanding of the world. The Stoics believed that true fulfillment comes not from achieving a static state of perfection, but from persistently striving to become a better version of oneself. Setting learning goals is one practical way to cultivate this continuous improvement. Instead of vague aspirations, define specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound objectives. Perhaps you want to improve your understanding of philosophy, learn a new language, or develop a specific professional skill. Break down these larger goals into smaller, manageable steps and create a schedule for achieving them. Seeking feedback is another vital component. While self-reflection is valuable, external perspectives can reveal blind spots and offer insights that we might otherwise miss. Actively solicit feedback from trusted friends, family members, or colleagues. Be open to constructive criticism and view it as an opportunity to refine your approach and improve your performance. Remember, the goal is not simply to hear what you want to hear, but to gain valuable insights that can help you grow. Practicing new skills is the practical application of continuous improvement. It's not enough to simply acquire knowledge, you must also put it into practice. Whether you're learning a musical instrument, developing a new software program, or improving your communication skills, consistent practice is essential. Set aside time each day or week to dedicate yourself to honing your skills and track your progress over time. This not only reinforces your learning but also provides a sense of accomplishment that fuels your motivation. Having covered how to constantly seek improvement, let us transition to mastering the skill of responding thoughtfully rather than reacting impulsively. Turning our attention now to the 23rd principle, to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively, highlights a critical distinction in Stoic philosophy. Reacting is often an automatic, emotion-driven response to a situation without much consideration for the potential consequences. Responding, on the other hand, involves taking a moment to pause, reflect, and choose your actions based on reason and values. The Stoics believed that our initial emotional reactions are often based on faulty judgments or irrational beliefs. By pausing before we react, we create space to examine these underlying assumptions and choose a more rational and constructive response. This doesn't mean suppressing emotions, but rather understanding them and using reason as a guide. One practical technique for cultivating thoughtful responses is to simply pause before speaking or acting. When faced with a challenging situation, take a moment to breathe deeply and observe your emotional state. This simple act can help you to detach from the immediate emotional impulse and regain a sense of perspective. Another useful technique is to consider alternative perspectives. Before responding, ask yourself how someone else might view the situation. What are their motivations and beliefs? By considering different viewpoints, you can gain a more comprehensive understanding of the situation and avoid making hasty judgments. Finally, it's helpful to remind yourself of your values. What principles are most important to you? How do you want to conduct yourself in this situation? By aligning your actions with your values, you can ensure that your response is consistent with your overall goals and aspirations. As we learn to respond thoughtfully and control our actions, we will come to find new ways to solve problems. Exploring how to improve problem-solving skills through the lens of Stoicism, it's clear that employing reason as a tool is a foundational approach. By using logic and critical thinking, people can often find solutions to even the most daunting challenges. Stoicism teaches that our initial emotional responses can cloud our judgment, leading to hasty or ineffective actions. But it's not easy and needs deliberate practice. One of the most effective ways to cultivate the use of reason is by slowing down and thinking hard before acting. This involves consciously taking a step back from the immediate situation to analyze it objectively. Ask yourself, what are the facts of the matter? What assumptions am I making? What are the potential consequences of different actions? Another helpful technique is to break down complex problems into smaller, more manageable parts. This allows you to address each component individually rather than feeling overwhelmed by the whole. Use logic to identify the root causes of the problem and develop targeted solutions. Seeking out multiple perspectives can also enhance your reasoning abilities. Talk to others who may have different experiences or insights into the problem. Consider their viewpoints and use them to broaden your understanding. This can help you identify potential blind spots in your own thinking. When faced with a difficult problem, it's also important to avoid getting caught up in negative emotions. Feelings like fear, anger, or frustration can impair your judgment and make it harder to think clearly. Take a deep breath, remind yourself of the principles of Stoicism, and focus on finding a rational solution. Reason provides a path, and what is the next of Stoicism to inner peace? The 25th practice prepares people for all types of difficult times. The 25th practice focuses on how to prepare for adversity and the difficult times that may come in the future. Stoicism teaches that while we cannot predict the future, we can prepare ourselves mentally and practically for potential challenges. This preparation isn't about dwelling on the negative, but rather about developing resilience and reducing anxiety by proactively addressing potential setbacks. Planning can certainly help to alleviate stress when these hard times arise. By thinking through possible scenarios and developing strategies to cope with them, people can feel more in control and less overwhelmed when adversity strikes. This might involve considering practical matters such as financial security, health and safety, as well as emotional and mental preparedness. One piece of practical advice is to plan for multiple different scenarios and be ready to act whenever adversity may strike. This approach involves identifying potential risks and developing contingency plans. For example, if you're concerned about job loss, you might update your resume, network with contacts in your field, and save up an emergency fund. If you're worried about health issues, you might focus on improving your diet, exercise regularly, and schedule regular checkups with your doctor. Preparing for adversity also involves cultivating mental resilience. This means developing a mindset that allows you to cope with stress, setbacks, and uncertainty. Stoicism offers a number of valuable tools for building mental resilience, such as practicing acceptance, focusing on what you can control, and reframing negative thoughts. Regularly reflect on your values and principles, and remind yourself of your inner strength and ability to overcome challenges. Another important aspect of preparing for adversity is to build a strong support network. Surround yourself with people who care about you and who can offer emotional support, practical assistance, and wise counsel during difficult times. Nurture these relationships and be willing to ask for help when you need it. By anticipating potential challenges and developing strategies to cope with them, you can approach the future with greater confidence and peace of mind. With the principles of Stoicism now explained, it is time to summarize what they all mean for inner strength. In summation, the 25 Stoic principles we've explored offer a robust framework for cultivating inner strength and resilience in the face of life's inevitable challenges. From focusing on what you can control to preparing for adversity, each principle provides valuable insights and practical tools for navigating the complexities of modern life with greater wisdom and fortitude. Together, they form a guide that encourages acceptance, virtue, and a continuous pursuit of self-improvement. These principles provide a way to approach the world with a sense of calm and clarity. By internalizing these teachings, people can mitigate their emotional reactions, make more rational decisions, and live more purposefully. It is important to remember that mastering these principles is an ongoing process, not a destination. It requires consistent effort, self-reflection, and a willingness to learn from mistakes. Embracing Stoicism is not about achieving a life devoid of difficulty, but rather about developing the inner resources to handle whatever comes your way. It is about finding peace amidst the chaos, strength in vulnerability, and wisdom in uncertainty. By incorporating these principles into your daily routine, you can begin to transform your mindset, enhance your resilience, and cultivate a deeper sense of inner peace. As you continue on your journey, you are encouraged to apply these lessons in your everyday situations, because the true value of philosophy lies not just in understanding it, but in living it. Reflect on how these principles can help you navigate your personal challenges, improve your relationships, and contribute to the greater good. With consistent practice, you can unlock your potential for inner strength and live a more meaningful life. If you found this exploration of Stoic principles insightful, please like this video and share it with others who may also benefit from these teachings. Your support helps us create more content to help others find their own path to resilience and tranquility. Subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss our latest content. This is just the beginning, and we have a long way to go in terms of inner peace and mental fortitude. Let us know in the comments which of these Stoic principles resonates most with you, or share your own experiences with Stoicism. We love hearing from you and learning from your unique perspectives. Your experiences and insights can inspire others, and together we can create a community of individuals committed to living more virtuously and resiliently. Thank you for joining us on this journey, and we look forward to continuing this exploration together.